Going live. Boom! Here we go, live. Hello everybody, welcome to Madbird United, welcome to the live show. We're back on a Sunday finally. No Europa League this week, so we can actually talk in our usual slot on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, whatever you want to call it. But Ant's with me tonight. You've not heard from Ant for a while because we just seem to be playing away games all the time. Ant only usually gets to the home games. So Ant, how you doing, mate? You okay? Good weekend, need I ask?
No, shit weekend. Shit weekend tops off by United.
Yep, that was the one. It wasn't a good weekend on all sporting developments. We had England, we had United, we've just seen Gomez break his leg. I don't know, it's just horrible weekend. Plus we've seen City and Liverpool score last minute winners. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay. No Paul tonight. Paul was due to come on tonight, but he has got a family function. He'll be back next weekend. So I just wanted to, obviously, you know I like to get Paul's comments in on the show. So he's left me a message. I'm just going to read out Paul's message from the weekend. So usual chit chat on WhatsApp. Paul says to me after my comment about the game, you can imagine what my comment was to him after that Bournemouth game. Paul's words exact was, so if you are on the sort of not keen on certain language, you know what I mean, you might want to just turn the volume down a minute because this is Paul's reaction to Bournemouth game. Anyway, absolute joke we was, mate. 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Fuck the Liverpool draw. Fuck the Norwich win. Means shit if we can't beat fucking Bournemouth, who haven't scored in 50 million years. And that pretty much echoes a lot of United fans' thoughts at the moment in terms of how they're thinking this club is going, how we're run, and how we're playing at the moment anyway. So Paul is definitely not a happy bunny, as a lot of United fans, but that's where Paul's at. Anyway, I'll go on to you, Anne. I'll go on to what I thought of the game. Most people already know from the videos from weekend how I think and what I thought what the weekend's game went down like and my reaction to it. How did you see it, Ant, watching on TV? I mean, I've not spoke to many people yet because you can all forgive me, I think if I haven't replied to your messages from the weekend, 8 hours driving, 500-mile round trip, having been beaten miserably by a poor outfit in Bournemouth, then you can forgive me for not getting back and wanting to spend the day with my family today. So yeah, I've not really spoke to many people yet. So I'm going to go straight in on you. How did it look? What were the comments? I've not even looked back on replays on what pundits have said or anything like that. We'll get into that in a minute. But where are you at with how we played against Bournemouth, first of all, and how it went down the game? Was there anything encouraging at all in that I didn't see from the sideline?
No, all in all, disappointing result. I said to you after the Norwich game, I wasn't getting carried away. Even after the Chelsea game, I weren't getting carried away with the way we were playing. Just a snatch and grab against Chelsea, in my opinion. But against Bournemouth, a team that's not scored since, I think it was the end of September, they've not scored a goal. And then come up against us. It was inevitable they were going to score against us. I knew they were going to score against us. It seems to be every time we put that gold kit on, we play shit as well. Not making excuses for them or anything, but when they put that gold kit on, we are fucking worse than normal. And that's fucking saying something. But positives going forward is I haven't got anything. I really am speechless with it. Just like Rashford looked burnt out. Martial was he just basically looked like he wasn't asked. Pereira's taking shots from everywhere, which was a joke when he needs to open his eyes up and look for the pass. McTominay tried, like you said, he tried. He's a trier, isn't he? But as this Wan-Bissaka with the Josh King's goal, what's he doing there? I mean, he's a right back. What are you doing right there? Where the hell's Lindelof? Lindelof, wow, we were all singing his praise last season. He's been fucking shit this year. He's just turned into non-existent. He's gone backwards, Lindelof, and I'm disappointed because I was looking forward to it when we signed Maguire and we had Maguire and Lindelof in. I was really looking forward to it, but he's been poor. But where the hell was he for the goal? And Maguire? Do you know what I mean? It's backwards. It's like Paul said. I said the same thing. 3 steps forward, 9 backwards. It's just typical, and I just can't see any way forward, positive through this. You know what I mean? It's like we can't score goals, and we always concede goals. It's like I thought we turned the corner. a little bit when we put 3 past Norwich. But like I said, I didn't get carried away. But I just cannot see a way forward with this team. They're all burnt out. They're all playing more games. I know what people say. The professional football players, they're supposed to be like that. But how many players will be burnt out? Rashford, he's injured. Again, it was saying he was holding his hamstring after the Chelsea game. Ole threw him straight back in. He's got passion, that lad, you know what I mean? But he looks fucked. Lindelof and Maguire picks up knocks. They both looked non-existent. It's just there's no way forward. And I know I'm being negative, but honestly, I can't see no way forward at the moment. And then we can't keep pinning it on managers. And these players are absolutely shit. And then Pogba comes out of a comment today, how gutted he was watching it. We don't need that shit either. Fucking hurry up and get back then.
Going on what you touched on there, I mean, player burnout has been a bit of an issue. I mean, I've brought it up, and a lot of United fans, so I nearly took everything out then. A lot of United fans are actually talking on that level and heaping a lot of the blame on Ole, because people are saying, and rightly so really, if you look at the games that we had Norwich, we had Chelsea, and then we had the game yesterday against Bournemouth. Did Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire need to play all 3 of them games, which they did? Did Rashford need to play all 3 of them? You know what I mean? There's players, there's ways around it. I think Ole's looking short term to try and keep his record or some sort of vibe going, or just try and keep the winning vibe going, because he's just not mixing it up at all. And although there are certain players that we all don't like and don't belong anywhere near the starting lineup, there has to be certain games, and I think maybe the Chelsea one was one where he could have rested a couple of players. I mean, like I said, did Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka need to play? I don't think so. I mean, there's definite change there. We can't beat that second string Chelsea team with what we had on the pitch, then it was a worry. Like I said, Chelsea away, Liverpool at home, they're always going to be tight games no matter who plays. It's just the way it is. You come away with anything in them games, any one of them top teams would say, if you come away from any of them games not playing well but get a result, that's fine. My issue all along was with the smaller teams. You cannot play the same style of football we did against Liverpool and Chelsea, just being solid, which is good for them games. And you cannot play that against the likes of Bournemouth, Norwich, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. We're trying to play that same way, that same formation. You have to change it and you have to mix it up. We're all praising Ole for just mixing up the formation, changing the style, playing players in the right position, Rashford on the wing, Pereira in the middle, even though he's not fantastic. But I mentioned it in my fan cams yesterday. Why is Ole not thinking, you know what? And Pereira got into some good positions at the start of that game. The first 15 minutes, we looked like we were lively. We looked like we was actually going to create some chances. But the decision making was shocking in that first 15 minutes. Although we did play okay and passed the ball well, as soon as we got to the final third, it all went downhill, and we could see where the issues were lying straight away, and it was starting to worry. But on that game yesterday, and like I said in my fan cams outside, I said I'm not Mata's biggest fan, but on that tight little pitch where you don't have to do loads of running, which you don't, was that a game for Mata to come into that number 10 role and create something? Just that little bit of guile that he can actually produce that a lot of our players in this team can't. That old head in them certain games, you know, he's not going to fit in when we play City or Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. It's not a game for Mata. The quick flowing football, big pitches, they're not games for Mata. But on them tight little pitches, I thought, you know what? Is it not worth just putting Mata in there? Because Pereira was shocking. He was our worst player again yesterday. And he's only so many times United fans are going to let him off the hook. He did some alright things, but it's just being overshadowed now by all his poor performances, because Ole consistently plays him even when he's been bad. Was there any other changes that you would have made to that team yesterday that would have maybe given us a little bit of an extra edge? Could you see any players? I mean, you all know, everyone in the comments section, you all know, everyone watching, what I feel about Brandon Williams, why he's not starting games. Is there anyone else who you'd have preferred to have been in that team? Was there any way or shape that we could have played differently? What do you reckon? Was there an answer other than the same team that beat Norwich?
Oh, there's not many options we've got, because we're threadbare as it is. So there's not many options apart from, like you said, Mata. Mata in that number 10 role. That's where he was always known for being. He can pick a pass with his old head, and he maybe could have opened them up. Like I said, played him through, because when he brought Lingard on, straight away, the guy's just disappeared. Whatever he had, that man, it's just gone. He's just disappeared into whatever he had. When Mourinho had the best out of him, he brought him on, and nothing. Well, like going back to like Brandon Williams, he would have given you that pace. Because every time Ashley Young gets that ball and he goes down the left and he cuts it in, he crosses it in. It's like, what are you crossing it in for? Martial and Rashford, they don't score headers. We haven't got that number 9 in the box. What are you whipping it in there for? Best thing to do is like Brandon Williams did against away in the Europa League. When he bombed down it, anything can happen with his pace. Just take it past the player, win a penalty. He's got that in him. You need to give the kid a chance. And luckily, Young's suspended now, so he's going to be in now. He's had his 5 bookings, so Williams is going to be in now for the Brighton game, which should be positive. So if he has a good game, and he could be pushing him out, because if he's, like you said, there's none of this rubbish about if you're old enough, or if you're old enough in your age, if you're good enough, you play. That's how I look at it, and that kid needs to play. He's proved it at Stamford Bridge. He proved it in the atmosphere away in the Europa League. That's toxic, and you threw a kid into there, and he nailed it. He won the penalty and he got us the win. So he needs to play. He needs to give the kid a chance. But like we said, there's no other, because we've got no other players. Like I said, there's no Pogba. We've got Martial and Rashford playing. Maybe put Greenwood in there. Greenwood in there, but then again that means taking Rashford and Martial out, and they were on form. So, but like I said, there's no other options apart from Mata being in that number 10 role.
Yeah, I mean,
the base.
For me,
nothing else we can say about it.
For me, I think when he's fit, I think Pogba has to come in there. That's probably the best position for Pogba within that front three, just off the front two, or just out to the left hand side. That's ideally where I would play Pogba. In terms of what we have got, I know we're threadbare now, but looking at it in some sort of positive aspect, I'm thinking we've got Axel to come back for Lindelof, who is a massive worry, like you said, at the moment. He is just being. I think someone posted the Mourinho sketch on. It's not sketch, but interview on that he was on Sky Sports on one of the games the other week, saying Lindelof has just fallen so far behind from what form he was on last season that it is crazy how he's actually still starting games. But when you look at the rest of the bench, in terms of other centre backs, I mean, would Rojo do a better job than Lindelof right now? I can guarantee Rojo wouldn't have been beaten by Josh King in the middle if he was there. And Rojo being the vocal that he is, I'm not praising Rojo and saying he is the answer, but he would have organised and told Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what the hell are you doing in that position when you're playing right back? You couldn't be any further out of position. And it just looked confused in there. And I said it outside the game as well. I said there was a phase of play there where Lindelof and Maguire should have organised that back line before anything even came in. And the fact that Bissaka was in there is partly their fault as well as his, because they should be commanding that 6-yard box. Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be nowhere near. And we know what Aaron Wan-Bissaka's like. His tackling is phenomenal, but to be honest, his decision making sometimes it still leaves a lot to be desired. And again, that proved it just there. The fact that he was even in that centre-back position when Maguire and Lindelof were both in close proximity, it baffled me. I could not understand. I was talking to people in the stands and they say, "Who was that? Who gave that? Who was battling there? Who was it?" I said, "It was fucking Bissaka." I said, "What's he doing there?" I just don't understand it. But yeah, on the right hand side, I've no issue with him at all. I mean, he can sharpen up going forward and he's passing, but that will come. Lindelof, massive worry for me though. I don't know what's going on there, and whether it's him who's making Maguire look a bit shaky at the moment, because they were both as bad as each other against Bournemouth. I'm not going to let Maguire off the hook. He's been good so far, but I thought he was poor as well against Bournemouth. You're going to bring one down, you've got to bring the other. They're a partnership, and Maguire should be commanding that back line. The fact that we've got Brandon Williams coming in and then everything looked better says it all for me. I mean, when a player comes on off the bench and it totally gives us a new dimension going forward, and nothing is going past him at the back, which it didn't. Even when he has to make a foul, Brandon Williams is clever enough to actually do it. So for me, Brandon Williams has to start. He will start, like you said now, because Ashley Young is suspended, thank God. Ashley Young didn't have his worst game, but not having his worst game is usually around about a 4 or 5 out of 10 for Ashley Young. That's his standard. You know what I mean? He's not what we need going forward. So big problems at the back for me as well as going forward at the moment, because I just can't wait for Axel to get fit again, because Axel and Maguire is where I want to see. I want to see Brandon Williams at left back. I want to see Axel alongside Maguire in the middle with Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right. That is my ideal defensive lineup at the moment, and that's just a little positive, because that can actually happen this season, hopefully, when obviously Axel gets back fit, and hoping that might be the Brighton game, because that means that Brandon Williams will definitely play along with Axel, Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and that would be a different prospect altogether, and looking quite positive. Well, then we're moving into the midfield at weekend, and again, we've said it, Scott McTominay Player of the Month, and well deserved. But when Scott McTominay is trying to do two players' jobs, i.e. his and Pereira's, I'm not going to bring Fred into it. I didn't think Fred was as bad as Pereira's. He did have some issues with passing again, but let's not forget, it was Fred's ball into the box that gave Greenwood his opportunity, and then we could have all been talking that Fred's got the assist for the equaliser, and it would have been a different ball game. He has. I'm not letting him off the hook at all. His passing is still way off the mark. He's picking up pieces and getting a little bit better, but a little bit better is still not good enough right now. But going back to Scott McTominay again, as good as he has been, he can't do everything, and he's playing 2 or 3 players' roles at the moment, or trying to do it, because he's obviously identifying that these players are not performing to what they should be, and it's affecting his own game as well. Whether it'll get better when Pogba comes back, depending on where Pogba plays, I don't know. But in terms of the midfield, and everyone's saying it, United need to spend in that midfield. And some people have even commented and said on my Twitter feed, on my videos on YouTube, that did we really need to spend all that money on Maguire in the summer when we knew that we needed that number 10 or that central midfielder even more? So for me, January comes around, I think top priority now looks like it has to be that centre mid. It really does, because it's so lacking. I know the forward line is poor, but right now that centre midfield, it just looks drained of ideas. I mean, in terms of the midfielders, Anton we've talked about Pereira and him having a shocking game. Anyone else stand out for you, or was it just poor? Did anyone pick up on it in the punditry? Did anyone say anything on TV? Was it lacklustre again in terms of comments? Where was it at? Where did you see it in the midfield?
Lacklustre again. The only thing, the key points is like McTominay trying, battling, trying his best like he does, but like you said, he can't do that 2-man role on his own. Pereira was shocking, and like we said, we praised him for the way he played against. The way he played, he's been playing last couple of games playing with the number 10 role, but he's gone backwards as well. And Fred for me, you know what I feel about Fred. I always played him because he's got nobody else, and he's playing him. He's gradually got a little bit better, but for me, every time he gets the ball, my heart's in my mouth with him, because it takes too long to pass. The Premier League is just too fast for Fred, and he cannot handle it. And the more and more he plays, in my eyes, I think the more and more I don't like him. I don't rate him at all. But some people say it. Someone said in the fan cam yesterday about Matic going back in now. But even Matic is worse. Matic is slower.
I know. Yeah, we all know who that is. Who said that comment? It's old Ricky. My mate Ricky. Yeah, he loves his Matic and Mata.
Too slow.
He loves his Matic and Mata combo. I don't know where he gets that from. Get out of my face. But no, it's. I mean, Matic. Ricky thinks that Matic actually passes the ball really well, and he keeps going back to the West Ham game. And I still remember it now, and giving the ball away to West Ham first pass of the game. So, no, Ricky knows. Ricky knows exactly what I feel about Matic and Mata. We've had a little private conversation off camera about that, and broke that down. But nah, it's hard when we travel and we go to the away games. We go home and away. It's hard for us to break it all down complete. We're not listening to punditry and people saying this and that and breaking it down. We're looking at it as it is. We can see things off camera and certain attitudes and players and the way they react to certain phases of play and the extra effort that they do put in. And it just went back to the old days. It was going back to West Ham away, that Bournemouth game. We just looked like we were never going to get near the goal. And what did we create in open play apart from Greenwood's? And also, I'll tell you one thing, I don't even think the cameras picked it up in terms of Greenwood's shot against the post, was Rashford was in the phase of play before that brought the corner, and he was pretty much saying to Brandon Williams, hold the ball there, let's just get it sorted. But Brandon Williams, off his own back, played that ball quickly to Fred. Rashford still had his back turned. He was just saying, slow the play, wait for me to get in the box. Whereas that would be the norm for United at the moment, but you can just tell the difference with a player like Brandon Williams. He's seen something different. He thought, you know what, no, forget that. I'm going in, I've seen something different. And straight away, look at the players that were involved in that. It was Williams, it was Greenwood. And I have to give credit to Fred for actually going for that and taking that ball, because the actual mainstay United players have just been stuck in a rut for so long in the way that we play and the way that things should be done, that I think it's scaring a lot of players to actually try something different. And when they do try something different, you can see them being berated by these players like Ashley Young, like Rashford and Martial. You know what? Forget it. Just go with your gut and go with it. And Brandon Williams did that. He put the ball in. The best chance we created all second half, because we didn't go with the norm and the usual crap style of football that these players, these so-called first-team players of United, have actually been used to and playing all the time. So I got to give credit to Brandon Williams for that as well. But there we are with that. I mean, can we break the game down anymore? People's comments in the comment section, I'm just nosying over, just watching you. I'm listening to you, watching your conversations. They are quite amusing, actually. What the general consensus is on the show tonight, and I don't know what it is with the live shows, and I don't know what it is with the people that go against me, or a lot of Ole Inners don't actually come on the live show and get involved with the live comments. I don't know what that is. They always seem to come in afterwards when the video goes up on YouTube. But believe me, the general consensus on this live show right now in the comments is Ole is done. That is, I can just tell you now, Ole is done. Ole is out. Ole is a fraud. Please get rid of Ole now. They just keep popping up. People have just had enough. And the records that are coming out at the moment, I mean, I seen one tweet earlier on about the records of Van Gaal, Moyes, Mourinho's in their first, I think it was around about 50 games, and how many games they'd lost. And a lot of problems with a lot of fans at the moment, and what they cannot get their heads around is the fact that these ex-players do not care about the fans. They're just looking after their mate. The same ex-players, pundits who were slagging off Mourinho before Ole, are backing Ole now when the football is just as bad, if not worse. Let's be honest. This is the worst that I can remember it, because it's just, I'm sick of it, to be honest. I'm sick of travelling wherever it is and just coming back, just listening to other people's football, and watching other football like Leicester, Liverpool and City getting last minute winners and all this. It's depressing to watch it, knowing that used to be us. But what are they seeing that we're not? What is like the Rio Ferdinands? And we've seen him walk past. I was there when he walked past Flex yesterday again, as we were doing our filming, and he said, in Rio's words were, I just want what's best for the club. Well, what is best for the club right now? You can't say I want what is best for the club and then in the same breath weeks before say we need to back Ole, because Ole might not be best for United at the moment. He's definitely not best for United at the moment in terms of results and the way you break it down. But if you look at that league table right now, if it's any other top club, say famous top 3 club from any league in the world or Europe, and you're looking at it with 2 of the promoted teams above us from that came up this season, we've got Brighton who've won more games than us. Sheffield United have won more games than us. Crystal Palace have won more games than us. Bournemouth have won more games than us. What's that saying? Right now we're 11 games into the season. If it's pretty much, it's now another couple of games and then we're third of the way through the season. If we had, say, another 2/3 of the season from now, say another 22 games, and they went exactly the same way that this first 11 games of the season have gone, and that would be 33 games in total, pretty much coming up to the end of the season, we'd have 39 points. That's still not hit the 40 point. That's still not hit the 40-point mark, and that is April time. That's a relegation fight. You can't sugarcoat it or say it any other way. We've lost more games than we've won, and we're pretty much a third into the season. There are stats. There are condemning stats. So, before we go on to other subjects and everything else, and I'm going to ask you now, if there was a man to come in right now, would you take it? Would you just basically see this season out now? Where you lying with Ole? Because nearly every single person in the comments, I'm going to come to the comments next actually, because it is going down big time in there. Would you get rid of Ole now? Would it be the right time to do it just before we come into the January transfer window? I know it's only, we're about 6 weeks away or so, maybe even more, 8 weeks away from that. And it could get a lot worse before then. People are asking me if I'm Ole in or Ole out. I'll get to that in a minute. Settle. And where are you at? Is it right to get rid of Ole now?
Do you know what? It's a really hard on that one, because it's Ole in or Ole out. But like you said, if it was any other club, he'd be gone by now. But he's clinging on because he's a United legend. And until we mathematically can't get anywhere in the league, we don't sack managers, like you said. But with me, I'll be brutally honest with you. If there's a chance, if there was someone ready there to come in, but there's no one at the moment. So if there was a chance that someone's there, someone like, say, I don't know, a lot of people might disagree with this, but if Pochettino got sacked from Spurs and he was there, Ole'd be gone for me, and Pochettino would be in. Because just the way he plays football, and again, he's going down that path for the Spurs players. It looks like they all don't want to play for him. But there's no one out there, though, at the moment. So at the moment, it's the wrong time to sack Ole. But there's no one there. Who is it there? You tell me Allegri. You're joking, aren't you? We don't want the Mourinho or Van Gaal. We don't want to play defensive football. That's not in our DNA. We want a manager that's going to attack games. And that's what Ole did. That's what Ole did from the start. He attacked. Where's that Ole Solskjaer managing from when we first started in December? Where's that gone? Nowhere. So for me, it's gone. He's gone. If Pochettino was there for me tomorrow, he's gone. Yeah. I'm not saying it because I'm Ole in or Ole out. I just, like I said, I want what's best for this football club, and I don't think Ole's right for the club. I think he's in way over his head. So for me, it's Ole out.
Yeah, there's a lot actually. Goes without saying, there's a lot of people agreeing with you at the moment in the comments section. I'm just going to fly over to the comments now. You're going to have to bear with me because these are flying through. Let's just get through some here. There's some people I've noticed who have been commenting quite a lot. Rafe, I'm going to come to you, mate. Rafe616 always comes on. So to all the regulars who have just logged on and said hello, I'll pass the comment on. Sorry I've not got to you yet, but hello, thanks for tuning in as always. I love you all and I love all your comments. Tonight is going down big time, let's be honest. Right, Rafe616. Who do we bring in? I think it's time for him to go. The Bournemouth game did it for me, but we have no one to replace him with. Rafe, mate, I know you've been behind Ole most of the time, mate. I do. And the fact that we showed a little bit of encouragement over the last few games sort of backed up a lot of people's sort of argument about keeping Ole in. Maybe he does need a little bit of time, but this Bournemouth game has pretty much slapped, sucker punch, kicked most people in the sack because I had the biggest reaction ever to Ole in terms of Ole in and Ole out after this game than they have the whole season. It's gone crazy because I think the fact that we all thought we were seeing a little bit like I was happy with what I was seeing. I thought he did all right the last month from the Liverpool game forward. I know Partizan was crap, but we got the win. We did well against Norwich. Well, we played the way we should against Norwich, and then we beat Chelsea, being solid. And then we just went straight back to the end of last season football against Bournemouth with not having an idea against a pretty poor Bournemouth team, to be honest. And they haven't got all their players. I mean, a lot of people are looking at it and going, do we just get rid of him? Do we just get rid of Ole now? Because it's just not working, and we can see it's draining the life out of him now. You can see it in the interview after the Bournemouth game. I have seen that interview, and for him to come out and say we just didn't get to the level that we needed to. What's the level against Bournemouth? They couldn't score against Watford or Norwich. So what is the level that we need to be at? I mean, come on, it's not. You don't have to be. I mean, there are standards, and then there are standards. The fact that he came out and said we need to be at our best against Norwich pissed me off a little bit. I mean, why do we have to be at our best against Norwich? We need to be at our best every single week. It's not just one game. I had the problems that he's causing with what he's saying and how he's saying it. And again, like I said, I go back to it again. The fact that he's playing Bazaka, Maguire, 3 games in a row, Rashford, 3 games in a week, it didn't need to happen. It really didn't need to happen. And it did just look like they've got no idea at all going forward. It doesn't look like when we go behind, we have any idea what we're doing. It's like all we train on the training ground is go up, let's defend and catch on the break. We can't play that football at Bournemouth. We just can't. It doesn't work. They will just wait for a mistake from us, and it was a mistake. It was a mistake from us again, and we concede from it. And that's all these teams are doing. We're too easy to play against, and if you can't see that and change it up, then it's not going to last. It's really not going to last. He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. And the fact that a lot of Ole in fans are actually turning into Ole out fans right now, it's actually saying a lot, to be honest. Right, let's just get through a few more of these comments. There's so many. Chris K says, not only Ole has to go, Mike, Carrick and McKenna also have to go. I mean, that is part of the problem, I do think. I think the fact that we've got such... what's the word I'm trying to say is now it's very, very similar sort of mindset in all 4, all being ex-United and all thinking that they know which way United should be playing, and it's not coming across on the pitch at all. They've played... Ole's played under Fergie, Phelan, Carrick. They all know what the United way is, or what the old United way is. I don't know what the United way is these days, but if they know what it is, then why is Brendan Rodgers, who spent nothing and been at Leicester for 8 months, playing the same way that United used to play, playing swashbuckling football and looking like they've got an idea and a style of football? So how is it that all these ex-United players who have played that way are all on the same team, on the bench, and we are so far away from what we are wanting to see and what we're expecting as United fans? It is untrue. Get rid of all of them, man. Definitely, if Ole goes, they've all got to go, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. That's the way it works. The manager goes, his backroom staff always goes. They all go. Look at when Mourinho came in. They all went. Giggsy went, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. He offered him a job. He didn't want it. He went. Everyone went. It's got to be a fresh start. If the new manager comes in, it has to be a fresh start. That's everyone. Forget Ferguson, been with Fergie, done this with Fergie, anything like that. That's back then. This is now. We want what's best for the club. And having them, like I said, when we were away at Newcastle, it just shows how embarrassing it is when the manager comes out of the touchline and he dominates the team and he tells the players what to do. There was one point when Carrick came out, Phelan came out, and Ole came out, and 2 players went to Phelan, 2 players went to Carrick, 2 players went to Ole. No. I'm the manager. You come to me, I speak. There's too many people that's got too much to say, and it's just baffling the players. It's crazy. It's like Ole's not got the balls to stand there and say, I'm dealing with this. It goes, something runs a lot deeper, like you said.
Yeah.
But in terms of going forward, the United way, I don't think this coaching staff actually knows what the United way is at the moment, because we don't. The players don't. So what hope have they got? It's a joke.
Yeah, no, saying that. So there, Dean Wright, yeah, thanks for that little comment before. Not the one you just did, the one before that with the word I was looking for. Very nice. Nicely put. Let's see. Who else have we got on here? Leicester were brilliant today. Dean Wright, yes. It's all down to bad recruitment, says Matthew Youssef. Yeah, I totally agree with that one. Recruitment is shocking and has been for years. Martial is not consistent to rely on. Yeah, I know. The Martial debate is a big one because he 1 week will look absolutely fantastic, the next week he just looks like he doesn't want to be there. Sometimes Martial, I'm not going to completely throw him under the bus because the service to him was absolutely shocking at weekend. He didn't get anything, and like I said, the decision making from the likes of James Pereira were nowhere near good enough. Rashford as well, I'll put into that. But Martial, when he gets it up him and he get people getting stuck into him, his sort of goes missing a little bit. You see the old Martial, and I don't know if you could say that came out, but what did he do in the second half? What did he do in the second half? Absolutely nothing, and that's the problem. And people are they've not got the patience anymore for players, giving players time. And I said, I think I posted it on Instagram the other day. The fact that Ole's saying that United will be better when we've got a fully fit squad hasn't really given Martial a chance to get back into the full swing of things. We're not going to give these players time to settle back in after injuries anymore. It's when Pogba comes back, if he has a poor game straight away, the fans are just going to be on him. We know they are. And that's down to Ole. That really is down to Ole. And you tried to defend him, but he just keeps coming back and throwing it in our faces, and that's the problem at the moment. And I can see why a lot of people now are just going down the road of Ole out, because we're seeing the likes of Leicester, Brendan Rodgers, who's not spent anything, and they're just playing fantastic football. I mean, what did they bring in the summer? They didn't spend hardly any money. They didn't replace Harry Maguire. They just used one of their own. They brought in someone, I can't even say the guy's name. He scored today as well, but he was not in the league of Maguire, but now he's looking like a better player the way they're playing this season. And it's hard to defend him. That's what I'll say. It's hard to defend him, but it is. Bernie, how you doing, Bernie? We was poor. Martial, he has pressed the keeper once and kicked the ball into touch. Is that all he did? Yeah. I know where you're going, that one, Bernie. That's all he's doing. I mean, did he have a shot? I think he had a little P-roller in the first half. That was it, that I can remember. Yeah. I think that was probably one of our only shots on target in the first half, and the rest was in the second half from long-range efforts. But that's it. Moving on. I covered enough of the Bournemouth game now. I just wanted to touch on another subject which is going crazy on social media at the moment. Well, more crazy because it's more of a hope than anything else, and that's the rumours about the Saudis taking over United. Yeah. Wishful thinking, in my opinion. I do believe that there is interest there, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. The fact that people are saying, do you think it could happen because United haven't come out and denied it? I just don't think United want to come out and talk about anything at the moment, just to simply deflect the fact that we are playing crap football again after the weekend and we're still in a dire situation. So, I mean, Saudis coming in, people are forgetting what they're all about and how they've got their money, and the corrupt and the issues going on in that country. It's just completely been forgotten about because all we want is the Glazers out. That's how far we have actually gone in terms of hatred for the Glazers and desperation for them to actually be out of the club. It is. I'm not going to go on like I know everything about this. I just look at it from afar and say, it's a tough one because we know what and how things are over in Saudi Arabia, and yeah, there's people who are just going to argue it, simply say, look, they're going to bring in a load of money, they're going to clear the United debt. United don't even need the Saudi money, they just need debt clearing and they will be self-sufficient. I'm all for that totally. We don't need a sugar daddy at United, we make our own money, and the fact that the Glazers have been taking our money is why no one wants the Glazers there. The Glazers have just robbed us, basically. They've absolutely robbed us. They've done exactly what they did to the Buccaneers. The only difference this time is, in this franchise, is that there's relegation involved and United can lose money, whereas the Buccaneers can't. They're just going to get a draft pick and it'll help them just get back up there. You know what I mean? They've only got one division, whatever division it is, Eastern, Central, Western, and they're never going to get relegated and lose the money. The revenues are always going to be there. It's not going to be an issue. But with United, the Premier League, you need money. It's as simple as that. And if we carry on at this rate, like I said, if we had another 2/3 of this season the same as this third one so far, then we're not even hitting 40 points. The fact that Sheffield United, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth are all ahead of us, all won more games than us. My God, that's just diabolical, and that's what the Glazers have brought United. They're trying to put it across now that we should accept where we are. We should accept the rebuild process while still being stung extortionate amounts of money to watch absolute crap. For me, the Saudi news, I don't know where you lie on it, and I don't even know if you've looked into it. It's a non-starter for me. I don't think it will happen. I really don't. Not saying that I don't want the Glazers to go. I just don't think it will. I just don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen this season, especially. Maybe it'd be different if we lose our money and we go further down the table, even hit that relegation point again. I know the win against Norwich has just kept our heads above water, and everyone's thinking that, oh, look at that, we're only 2 points away from Arsenal. We're ahead of Spurs, but in reality, look how far off we are from that top four. I mean, we're so far away from any form of European football next season. Maybe that will be the catalyst, but right now, I still think they're clinging on to the fact that we're in the Europa League. If we win that, then we're back in the Champions League and everything's hunky-dory according to the Glazers and Ed Woodward. Saudi's in or Saudi's not happening, Ant? Where you at with that one?
It ain't happening. It's not happening, that. Like you said, it's a load of just people getting excited about something that is not going to happen. The Glazers aren't going to sell to the Saudis. There's loads of rumours that it was just over some sponsorship deals. That's why the representatives were out there. And I actually do believe that that's what it was about. But we don't want to be another city, to be real. Do you know what I mean? Imagine we win oil money. Do you know what I mean? Imagine we win the league. Like I said, we don't want to be like a city full of mercenaries and everything, paying high wages and that. Because that's what will happen if they come in. They're going to want all these big names. The only positive will be Woodward will be shipped off. Because he won't be there if he comes in and put money on that one if they come in. It's a joke. But in terms, it's a non-starter. Because it's not happening.
No.
There'll be some sponsorship deal for some telecom, something else, some form of electrical products, and that's what it'll be about. It'll come out soon this week, and that'll just crush the whole conversation about the Saudis buying United. It's a non-starter. Yeah. They ain't going to take over, and like you said, people don't know the ins and outs of it because I don't. There's a lot of people throwing about human rights with these Saudis and everything going on. They've got all sorts going on, the royal family and that, haven't they? So, is it something that Manchester United's name is going to be brought up into? Because it's not good for United.
Great comment by Andrew Massey there. No value in the market? ? What about value in season tickets? Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
It literally is a case of we are being robbed blind by what we're watching at the moment. You get a season ticket, you expect to go and get entertained after a working week. You go to watch the football. God, that was the worst 500-mile round trip I've ever done. Because I was on my own, I had no one with me, and the best bit about my trip, I've mentioned it to someone before in the comments, and that was the McDonald's on the way back. That was the best bit about my weekend. I thought we were going to win the World Cup with England. We lost driving down there, listening to that on the radio, and then United lost, and I'm driving back, and I hear City score a last-minute winner. I hear Liverpool get their last-minute winner. I'm like, oh, God in Bennett, and Chelsea win again. I'm listening to that. I'm like, we are so far behind. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Anyway, let's get back to a couple of comments again. Niz, all right, Niz. I know you've been commenting on a few subjects. Woodward is a joke. He should never have been given the CEO. He's wrecked everything. Adam destroyed United and the ground. Nothing but an arrogant prick. Well said, Niz. Well said.
Yeah.
You can't really change or argue with that comment, I don't think. But going back to what I actually put in the title of the video as well, is the fact, I didn't bring this up before, but there was actually, in fact, I know it's been nasty outside the ground around fan cams. People don't agree with social media influencers talking about United. All they see is United. Some United fans just making money off YouTube, just talking about United. Well, the going is tough. Fans are arguing, they want someone to actually blame. I had two guys who had to be separated walking out the stadium, walking down. I had an old guy, must have been in his 70s, who stood next to me, and he was nearly pummeled and sent down to the bottom of the stairs by these guys trying to get each other. It was an ollie in against an ollie out, And like I said, these United fans, I said it in my video after the game, there is United hardcore fans who just go there, sing their hearts out, which is commendable, and just back Ollie no matter what, back the manager no matter what. Ollie comes over, claps the fans at the end. Yes, all good and well, no issue with that at all, but at the end of the day, when we get home and we sit there and we see Sheffield United beating Burnley 3-0, scoring 3 goals in the first half, and we can't hit a cow's house with a banjo against Bournemouth, who couldn't beat Norwich or Watford, who are bottom 2 in the league, then you've got to still sit back and think, what am I shouting for? I know you've got to get behind the team, you're a supporter first and foremost, but you've got to sit back and think, you know what, this is fucking shit. This is absolutely crap. I mean, where is the value for money in watching Manchester United right now? And oh my God, it's a sorry state of affairs, but it is exactly where we are at right now, and it's hard to see a way out of it right now, and everyone is pretty much on the same tune. We're just looking at trying to cling to positives that are there, that we think might be there, but in all honesty, when we walk back home or we leave the ground, we're all thinking exactly the same thing, and that is, where the fucking hell do we go from here? Because we are rock bottom right now as United, and and the prices keep going up. And I don't know what's happened. Something's going on at the club at the moment. I don't know what is happening with United's. Just so everyone is aware, obviously, I think I can't remember, it was Massey who actually mentioned where is Paddy Crerand. He's not been seen on MUTV. I don't know if he's ill. The club would have usually announced something if Paddy was ill. People are saying, has he actually been sacked? I don't know what is going on there. I mean, we all know that he got caught saying something he shouldn't behind the scenes at United. As we know, everyone who's employed by United has to read by the same book, the same script, that nothing bad can be said about United. The best bit of TV from MUTV that I seen last season, I don't watch MUTV anymore at all, was when they interviewed Jeffrey Boycott. That was the best bit that I've seen on MUTV for a long time, because they weren't expecting him to come out and actually speak his mind and speak what the real truth. I mean, I haven't had contact from Manchester United, and I've been a season ticket holder for a while. I just don't get contact from them anymore. I apply for every single away game, and all they're happy to do is take my application and then leave it. I know everyone else gets emails back saying you were successful, you're unsuccessful. I'm not even bothered if they tell me that I've been unsuccessful, but they don't even do that anymore. So either I've been blacklisted or noted for what I talk about, the truth, you know what I mean? Saying it as it is, I don't know, because United like to shut people up. They like to keep people quiet. You know what? There's people who don't want to hear the truth. I'm not going to change. I don't care. I'm having to spend fortunes watching United at the moment just to get all the tickets from whoever I can to follow my team. The club don't care who buys the tickets. People are telling me, I'm still getting comments now, people saying you're the people to blame, because you're the one who's buying the tickets, buying the season tickets. I can tell you now that half the people who apply for the away tickets at United don't go. They don't. They go. They use it as a business. They sell them on, tout it, put astronomical prices and on top of the prices of the actual face value of the tickets. And you see some people at the grounds and you're like, how did you get a ticket? And there's other clubs in the league, and we know this, haven't we? Spoke about this. Arsenal have a token, are totting up. I think City do the same thing for the loyal fans who always apply. But people are telling me it's dictatorship. The Glazers have been Paddy Power. The Glazers have been Paddy Crerand. I don't know. Do you watch MTV, Anne? I don't even know. Do you watch it? Have you got it? I think a lot of people are giving up on it now.
I gave up on it when a fan came on the talk show, and they cut him off because he was talking about the Glazers and the money and everything. They cut him off. They cut him off dead. And then his wife rang back up again, and then they cut her off about the Glazers. They just don't want to know any negativity. They don't want to know MUTV, and that's probably what's happened with Paddy Crerand. He's probably said something. He's probably been flirted. Like you said, if he was ill, they would have come out and said something, because, like you said, his status at Manchester United. But no, I don't watch United. because all it is trying to be positive about United, and obviously that's what it is. It's like a franchise, Manchester United. You're trying to be positive about them, but the way it's going at the moment, and the amount of people that probably rang up to talk about the Glazers and the money and the transfers and why this person's not been bought and why that and why we sold this and that, they don't want to know. They cut the conversations off dead.
Yeah.
They just don't want to know. And no, I don't watch MUTV. I just don't, because it's just an absolute robbery as well. How much to charge just for that as well? It's a joke.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't give a toss. I mean, someone, I think, Rain Wooner, loved that name. He said he's seen that programme as well when they cut him off like a dog. It's, you know what, people queue up and spend a lot of money on them phone calls to come in and talk. And just to cut him off like that because he's a concerned Man United fan, I think they lost a lot of viewers through that. I think you're right. I think a lot of people give up on the show after they've seen that. And you know what, there's probably some aspect of United that do actually watch YouTube and do actually try and pinpoint certain people who want to talk negative about United, but it's not going to stop me. What did Paddy Crowell say? Black King said. He said, someone's spouted it out on Twitter actually. He went behind because United, if you go into the executive suites at United, and there's quite a lot of them, there's an ex-player or someone associated with United who walks around and chats to the people. And apparently he said in one of the rooms that none of these players are good enough to play for Manchester United. And I think it got Mikhail or someone actually said it or quoted him on it, put it on social media, and I've not heard anything from him since then, to be honest. I've heard we see him at United because we're always hanging around at the end, and you always see the United MUTV, you see the BT, the Sky. We see a lot of people walking out the grounds later on because we're doing all our filming with United Stand and everything like that. We always see the likes of Ferdinand, people walking off like that, Scholesy as well sometimes. And Paddy's always there. I've not seen him at one game. We've seen Ben Farnley. I think he's taken over the MUTV commentary now. And it was... I can't remember the last game I've seen Paddy at now. It's trying to think back. Someone might come on and just tell us exactly when the last time we've seen Paddy there. But I've not seen him in and around Old Trafford at all. And if they're trying to keep it quiet, it's a disgrace. If they're trying to keep it quiet that he's actually ill and not letting the fans know, then I don't think that's right either. But for me, it's bad news all around. It's just there's absolutely zero good news coming out of United at the moment. I mean, Alien Tenno, fuck Rio, he's an arse lick off. Yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, I had so many comments from people and fans about the ex-United players saying that they don't look at it from a fan's view. They come out and say that if they just want the best for the club, then the best for the club is the right manager for the club and it's the right style of football. Why can't United have a style of football? Because it's a process, a long-term process. You know what I mean? We can't be in such bad form for so long. And that's, it's just something is not right. Have MU fans been throwing prawn sandwiches at each other? Prawn sandwiches, mate, I don't even think they sell them anymore. I think they've got some American equivalent now. That was Snaggle too. Cheers for that, mate. There's a lot of animosity in the crowd at the moment. There really is, and it's not good. It's not good at all. Quickly to finish up, and ways forward now. Next team against Partizan. I was asked this question after the game. What would you do against Partizan now? Wholesale changes? Would you change the whole team, or would you just? I said, I know, just put a strong team in and get this competition done and dusted. Then we've got 2 games we don't need to worry about. And we can play the kids, we can play the reserves, we play Jones, Rojo, Young, we can play anyone in this game. Mata, Matic, Lingard, just let them all play their games. Where you at? Do we change everything up now? Do we give the youth a chance, or do we just play our so-called strongest team? Don't know if you can call it strong anymore, or what our first best team is. But what would you do? Would you just try and change everything up now, or would you just get the competition won? If we can't beat Partizan at home, then I do give up.
Yeah. We can't beat Partizan at home with any of our players in our squad, then we seriously need our heads testing. But I think, yeah, I'd still make a few changes though, because I still think whatever players we've got out are good enough to win Partizan at home. Like I said, Garner should start, Williams should start. Put Rowe Howard back in there with Jones. There's no need to play Lindelof or Maguire in that game. Romero in net, De Gea and the rest. You got Greenwood. You give Greenwood a chance. Give Greenwood. There's no need to play Rashford, and you got Lingard and Mata. And there's no need to play them type of players in this game because hopefully you get a win. But then again, you put full strength in, and then you play Brighton again on the Sunday. You're going to burn them out again. It's the same situation again. The transfer window, it's just bit us back on the arse as hard as what people thought. We're thinking we're not going to get any injuries. Bang, we were wrong, weren't we? Jesus Christ, the injuries that we've had this season is shocking, and it's going to go back again to the window. Yeah. Like I said, look at Leicester. Tillemans was waiting for United, but we didn't want to know because we were too busy after. I don't know who the hell we were after because we didn't get Bruno Fernandes. He was crying and waving to the crowd at friendly, and he still didn't sign for anyone. So I don't know who we were after in that midfield section, but it's biting us back on the arse, and our players are going to be burnt out all season. All season, these players are going to be knackered. I can see it. It's going to be such an horrible season. So it's one of them. Strap yourself in because the only way that Ole's going to be able to keep his job this season is if he does like Mourinho did in his first season, maybe win the Carabao Cup, win Europa League. That's the only way he's staying in this job, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. A few people asking questions there. I think there was one that got deleted on my Danny Brown. Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to delete your message. I pressed the wrong button, mate. I think you asked, does it piss you off how long it takes Ole to make a substitution? Yeah. Simple answer, mate. Yes, it does piss me off, mate. Oh, God. I mean, Ole is a Wally. Danny Wright. Bayern are a big club, mate. Yeah, they sacked their manager off. That's the old question that keeps coming around. How big are United? How big do United hold themselves? What regards do United hold themselves in? Because if you was a big club, then you would have already sacked your manager after this crap, to be honest. And let's be honest, we're the third highest paid squad in European football. You know what I mean? Ole, when he first came out, he said it's easier with players of this quality when he first came to the club. Yeah. You mentioned that to me, and now he's saying it's a process and it needs time. Wow, what's changed?
Flip-flop.
What?
Flip-flopping.
Come on, you cannot keep... You're just making it worse for yourself, Ole, mate. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, people. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Your comments have been on point tonight. I've never had so many people commenting on the show before. It has been spectacular, to say the least. I'm sorry I couldn't get everyone's in, but there's been hundreds. Absolutely hundreds, as always. And thanks for coming on. I'll see you tomorrow, and we can probably discuss more about what's going on. The Premier League Roundup show will be coming up as well soon. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with Saeed, because I've got some... I'm quite busy with work and everything at the moment, so that might be on my own again, that one. I don't know. I'll keep you posted on that, obviously. Stay tuned, stay in touch with me on social media. The links are there. Well, not links, but the names and usernames are there for Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, subscribe to this channel on YouTube if you are watching for the first time. And again, thank you everyone for coming on. If I haven't commented or got back to you, it's just because I was knackered after the drive yesterday and so deflated. I needed half a day at least away from football. But it's coming back this week again. We're back on Thursday night against Partizan, so you'll be seeing plenty more of me then. Paul will be back at weekend as well. I think we're back on the Saturday night next weekend, because we're back to Thursday, Sunday before the international break, and two exciting games to get our teeth into in Brighton and Partizan. Whoa, although, let's not forget, Brighton are better than us this season, aren't they? So, yeah, it's a big game. Anyway, that's it, people. Thank you as always for coming on and tuning in and watching the channel. I hope you have a good rest of the weekend, the last few hours that are left of it. Let's make a fresh start to this week. It's not been a good weekend at all. How many times are we going to say that this season? I'm checking out. Take it easy, people. See you soon. Bye-bye.